Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be showing you some of my acrylic and resin pours that I've done over the past couple of years, ever since I've been introduced to, kind of acrylic pouring and resin pouring. First one I want to show you, this one is, I think, roughly about A2 size. Yeah, A2, I want to say A2. This is with, I'm sorry if I butcher this, P.s Discovery art set. It's basically a resin and you get them in little tiny pots. I was just going a bit crazy here. I just really wanted to use up the rest of the materials and I just kind of popped them along. I still quite like it. It's actually hanging in my bedroom, on my bedroom wall. Yeah, it's just a really fun way to kind of get introduced into acrylic pouring / resin pouring. Just to let you know, the bigger pieces on this video have been balanced on another piece of artwork made of plaster because it's so big that it doesn't fit properly onto the wall. I've tried my best, but again, it's just the preparation. But then again, it's still working right now, so that doesn't matter. So there's this one, A2 resin from P.s. Got some really nice colours in there, red, blue, green, gold, bit of silver, bit of darker red. So this next one is acrylic pour with Deco Art Americana acrylic paint. I don't know why that took so long to come out of my mouth. Also with Wix PVA adhesive glue. This is probably one of the most successful ones I've done to date because of how I think it's pretty amazing from what I started out to be in acrylic pouring. I'll show you some of my others. They're not as successful, but they're still quite cool. I just can't forgive myself to get rid of them. So this one's very, very orange. I think I used a couple of inks within it because I didn't have a red. I only had like a yellow and blue and black and those kind of tones. So I just kind of mixed up a bit of red within the yellow, made this really nice orange colour, and that kind of suited and booted for kind of the contrast. For me, this kind of looks like a Turner painting, like a modern day Turner painting, because you've got these kind of really delicate marks, you've got the really dark contrast between the bottom left up to the top right and all that. I just really like it. It's just really interesting. Naturally, this actually wasn't going to turn out like this because the board is warped. The paint started to come off onto the right, where you can obviously see these lines here. It's where it just kind of started to swap onto the surface. I didn't mind because obviously it came out like this, and for me, this looks pretty cool. So I was very, very happy with that. So again, this is, one of the most recent ones, done with Americana acrylic paint and Wix's PVA adhesive. So this next one was also filmed, so it was the last one, I forgot to mention that, and this one was filmed on my channel as well. I'll link it all down below for you just in case you want to see it. This is kind of the time where I said before I didn't have a red, I only had the yellow, blue, black and white. So I was kind of mixing it in and trying to create these interesting contrasts. Sorry, you fell on the floor. Trying to make this interesting contrasts and create styles with fairy liquid, really. I didn't really use silicone at this point because I didn't really feel the need to. I still had some quite cool styles happening, specifically towards the bottom, you might see. Yeah, I pretty like it. It's got some really nice colours. The white didn't mix as much, so that's pretty good because I'm trying to find a white that doesn't mix in with the other colours. Sometimes I don't mind it, but I like to have that really crisp white kind of colour and tone in my paintings when I want it to appear. Americana paints with Wix's PVA adhesive once again. Both those boards as well are upsell boards, so I actually took them from a bin. They're MDF boards at my university. There was a little bit of paint on them, nothing too serious. I took them out and I was like, well, I might as well use them if no one else is going to use them. So here they are, being used properly, and just to say they were going to go in the bin, and I managed to save them. So do not always throw away your art materials because someone else will definitely make sure that and use them properly within the artist practice. Kind of like the same old one man's trash is another man's treasure, but in my terms, an artist's work is my art materials, if that makes any sense at all. So that's that one. So this next one is 10 by 10. I'm pretty sure that's the correct measurement. This is a mixture of a dirty pour between, it's kind of a transition between using Floetrol and then into using Wix's PVA glue adhesive for like the art medium, like pour medium. The gold parts are the Wix's adhesive, but the blue is Floetrol. So with this one there is a little bit of cracking because I don't think the pouring mediums agreed with each other, but the cracking, like the separation, specifically up here, this is what I mean by separation up here, it works. I think it works. It's a very interesting like composition because this was actually a dirty pour. There was a lot of blue and a bit of white left in it, and I just kind of forgot to use my gold in my last one, so I just kind of poured it all in, and this is what came out as the outcome. So I was very, very happy with this one. A lot of these are more successful acrylic / resin pours. There are a lot more that I've created, but obviously they've either been reused or they're underneath my bed somewhere in a container. Honestly, these are probably the best ones because they're actually on my wall, either in my studio or in my bedroom, so I just want to point that out quickly. I probably should have said that at the beginning, but that's fine. Anyway, so this one is mixture, the paints with the Floetrol, so that was the blue and the white bits. That was with Americana. Same with the golds, that's Americana paint as well, as in Deco Art Americana paints. So that's that one. A dirty pour with 2 different pouring mediums. This next one has to be one of my favourites. I know I probably say that for a lot of my artworks, but this one in terms of cells has to be one of my favourites because this was with the Wix PVA glue, also used an ink technique. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but towards the middle there's kind of this purpley kind of tint, and the composition works, the cells worked out really well. It was the first proper pour using the Wix PVA adhesive glue, so I was really like skeptical. I was like, oh my god, is this gonna work? And this is with the Craft Deco Art, I believe. But the cells are they're just amazing. I think it's the first time I actually used silicone in my pours. There is a video for this one as well, which is really cool because as soon as I lift up the lid you can start to see the cells popping through, and it's just so cool to watch. And I wish I could do another one like this. Obviously at the moment I'm running low on art materials. I'm kind of in remorse. I'm like, no, I want to do more resin or acrylic pours. So this is the one way to get around it, by just talking to you about some of my more successful acrylic and resin pours. Obviously this is a 10 by 10 as well. Very happy with it, and I can't wait to create more like this. Yeah. I talk too much. I hope you don't mind. Okay, so this next one does look a little bit wonky on your screen, but it's actually straight on mine, so maybe it's just the easel, but I've tried my best to line it up. So this is one of the first of the 5 acrylic pours that I've ever done. I used it with Liquitex. Not a big fan of Liquitex. Liquitex just didn't go right with me. It's either Liquitex or Floetrol. I have used both, but I think it was Liquitex with this one. I'm not sure, but it's one or the other. This was one of the first dirty pours I actually created, and I love it. Like, look at that difference of tone and kind of colour throughout. Like, if that bright orange wasn't there / red, I don't think this would have worked. I literally put it in out of a whim because I was like, this kind of mixture kind of looks really dark. Not quite sure if it's going to work. And lo and behold, this is what happens. And I really love the fact that the blue popped through as well. I think that's towards the bottom of the pot, and as I lifted it up, obviously the mixture came out, but there's also bits of blue, so it kind of just dripped onto the pour at the same time. So that's an interesting fact. This one is 8 by 8, so a little bit smaller than 10 by 10 obviously. Yeah, really happy with this one, as with a lot of the others. So this is the second to last one, and this one is one of the most recent ones I created. It might be slightly wobbling on the screen, it's just because I've literally just put it up there and it's taken its time to settle down. This was actually with Crawford and Black acrylic paints, which is on my terms very cheap craft paint, so a lot more cheaper and much more craft paint-y, that's even a description, than the Americana, the Deco Art craft paints. One, they're a lot more cheaper. Carrying on, this was with a Craft PVA glue as well from the works. I absolutely hated that Craft PVA glue. It setted so quickly. I know on the bottle it says quick set, but I didn't expect it to be within 2 minutes. I was really frustrated. Like it worked really weirdly with the blue and the black. It used to set those colours a lot more quickly. But like trying to get the consistency right was so frustrating because it'll start to thicken up. You just add a bit more water or a bit more paint and it just keeps setting. And you've pretty much only got like about 5-minute work time with it before it starts setting and then glooping everywhere, and it was just a bloody nightmare. Especially when I did my ink experimentations. They didn't work out as well because I think it was the time I was transitioning between the wicks PVA glue towards the ink, the works PVA glue. I should have probably done it with the wicks, but obviously there's still time for that, so I'll definitely try that out again to see if it was actually the PVA glue or it's actually the method of it. This one also has, oh, I sound so croaky. This one also has a sealant on it. I don't know if you can tell. It's very quite shiny. What I found with the Crawford Black acrylic paints is that they dull down a little bit after time because obviously it dries, but the sealant that I use actually brings back the colour a lot better. So this one's had 2 coats and I think it looks really, really cool. It's kind of like when it's being wet again. The white acrylic paint for this probably is the best white acrylic paint I've used because it actually appears on the canvas, which is extraordinary for me because a lot of the other paints that I've used, I think I used like own brand craft paints or Americana paints, all the craft deco art paints. The white never seems to stand out. It just ends up mixing, but when it does stand out it's like the tiniest bit and that's on the edges, so it's just like, okay, it's maybe not today. But yeah, very, very happy with this one. This was mostly throwing the colours all together. Okay, we are on to the last acrylic pour. So probably some of you going, yes, thank God. Others of you probably going, oh, I'm kind of sad about that. But if you made it this far, thank you so much. This one I forgot to mention as well, the last one you just saw also had silicone sprayed within the bottle, so did this one. It just helps with all the material coming down onto the canvas. So if you just spray an unused cup and then pour the mediums in, one, it creates cells, which you can see in this one, and it also uses up a lot more of your medium, as in you get all of it out of the pot, not just little bits, if you know what I mean. So this one was one of the first ones I did with Crawford Black. Obviously you could tell the colours are a lot more vibrant. I did only do one spray of the setting spray, and yeah, and I think it looked really well for, like I said before, the Crawford Black acrylic paints are pretty good, so I'm definitely going to be sticking with them. I'm still trying to find a good PVA glue compared to Wix because I can't. Wix is quite a far away place for me because I don't drive, fun fact about me. So my nearest Wix is about 40-minute bus journey. Like if I can find one on Amazon and get it delivered for about the same amount of price as a bus ticket, then I'll definitely try that out. I've actually ordered some more PVA adhesive. I've done adhesive and normal craft paint, but I think adhesive will work a lot better. But anyway, that's a different video. So this is the last one I'm going to end on. I really, really like it. I love the red. It's kind of romantic. And you've got that white as well popping through, which I love. So yeah, this is an 8x8 as well. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you actually made it through to the end of this video. If you want to know, all these artworks are available to buy on my eBay account. I've left a link in my description box. Feel free to have a look. Once again, subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below any suggestions you have, and I shall see you guys for the next video. Bye!